Static fire poi. That's right, Drex is finally joining the 2020s. Drex here from Drex Factor Poi, bringing you the love of poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. And today, I am bringing you my review of these static rope fire poi from Juggling Calling and Shapeshift Props. Before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Flow DNA, Flow Fests, Flow Toys, Pyroterra Light Toys, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all of these awesome companies and the work that they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links that I've got down in the description of this video. So it's kind of like an ongoing gag that I'm always behind the times in whatever poi hardware is available out there. And I have totally missed the static rope bandwagon that's been going on in the tech poi world now for a couple years. But I know that they've been a big deal to a lot of people, and the fact that they are now available on fire poi is an even bigger deal. Today we're going to talk about the features as well as the ease of use, durability, burn time, and price for these static rope fire poi from Juggling Calling, and I'll also be giving you some of my personal thoughts, both in the middle of the review as well as at the end, and you'll see why here in a little bit. So to start off with, let's talk features. Now, without a doubt, the absolute biggest feature of these that people are going to be interested in is the static rope. What is static rope, you may ask? Well, static rope is a type of rope that has this really, really tight weaving to it that basically means that the rope itself can hold on to certain shapes. And more than that, it resists kind of being bent around things to such a degree that it's become really, really important to those people out there that play around with poi juggling. Specifically, they have to worry less about what the tethers do when they release them for a throw, which is also part of the reason why I haven't played around so much with static rope just yet. I don't poi juggle, so in my mind, there wasn't really a huge reason to dive into it. But I've got to say that the feeling of static rope is not at all what I expected it to be. Namely, it turns out to be flexible in ways that I wasn't anticipating, and basically anything that I could think of that I could do with a more flexible rope totally works with these too. I was really, really worried about how gunslingers were going to turn out, and as it has turned out with practice thus far, gunslingers work perfectly well with these. Now, the particular set that I have here also include ISIS heads. Now, this is basically a lanyard knot with Kevlar rope that is made into kind of a barrel form factor and everything. I actually have always preferred this form factor for fire poi heads, but because monkey fists have kind of taken over as the style of choice for everybody for the past few years, that's what I've been using too. And finally, the handles, which by default you can get little spherical silicone knobs to go with these. The ones that I requested are these Ultra Knob Pros, that is LED handles from Ultrapoi. The reason for that just basically being that at this point there's so many things that I do with fire poi that it's good to have light up handles for, that quite frankly any set of fire poi I get from now until Judgment Day, if it doesn't have LED handles, I'm probably only going to use them once or twice, and then they will sit on my wall never to be used again. So thanks y'all for the hookup there. This is an option, but it costs a little bit more. So in terms of ease of use, most of us have a rough idea that to use fire poi, you dip the heads and then you light them up and you go spin them and everything, right? I really appreciate the fact that Juggling Calling includes a little set of instructions, a little printout that go with their fire poi here, and that cover everything from the mechanics of dipping and burning to how you should store the props and everything. That's really cool. I don't know that I have ever seen another fire poi manufacturer do such a thing. That said though, as far as I can tell, there is no option with these to get any hardware between the tether and the head, which, let's face it, would be kind of antithetical to the whole idea of having static rope on these to begin with. But suffice it to say, being in close proximity to flames is going to degrade the tether over time. Never ever dip the tether itself. But yeah, Juggling Calling has made static rope work specifically by weaving its static rope out of Kevlar, which is why the tether here is exactly the same color as the head, whereas Technora will get you a slightly different color and everything. But I actually kind of appreciate the fact that it makes the whole thing look like a single unit, like it is one single poi rather than a set of components that have been combined together. You know what I'm saying? And now we're going to take a quick left turn into some personal thoughts, because I'm going to answer the question that I think a lot of people out there are asking. Namely, how are we halfway through a review for Fire Poi and the Fire Poi still are not lit? So here's the reason. These are such an amazingly clean and beautiful product. I almost feel bad about having to light this head on fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way that this product is built is so clean and so professional. Like, the way that the rope just goes on into the head with, like, you can see a little bit of a silicone sleeve in here and everything, but by and large, it feels like this is all one continuous unit, you know, and that's really rare to find among Fire Poi. In fact, I've been practicing a lot with these just unlit in the past few days to get a good feeling for them, you know, trying to find out how easy was it going to be to do, you know, gunslingers, tosses, etc. And they just feel so much like spinning a regular set of poi. Like, I remember the first time I tried out Technora tethers, and it was just like an earth-shattering moment for me, because all of a sudden spinning my Fire Poi felt so much like spinning my practice poi. This is that feeling all over again. So now I'm going to go outside and burn these, and when I come back in, I will give you my thoughts on burn time, durability, I'll share with you the price, and of course a few more personal thoughts now that I've actually worked with them on fire. I am back from burning these, and as you can see, they are extremely sooty now. So I'm going to put them over here and out of the way for the rest of this review. All right, so let's talk about burn time right quick. Now, I did a bunch of burns with these last night. Some of them were meant to be full burns and some of them weren't. Basically, the first burn that I did lasted for 4 minutes and 45 seconds, and the second burn was only 4 minutes and 10 seconds. My guess is that these are gonna plateau somewhere between 3 minutes and 45 seconds and around 4 minutes or so for a standard burn, which is not bad. So in terms of durability, I am assuming that I'm going to get about the same amount of life out of these heads that I've gotten out of most heads that are a similar form factor. That is, generally speaking, after like a year or two of pretty regular use, I will start to find that they have noticeably shorter burn times and that the weight of them has gone through a precipitous decline. Because the tethers are also Kevlar, I'm going to guess that the heads are going to go out before the tethers do, but stay tuned on that one. So what do I think of them now, having spent an evening spinning fire with them? The biggest thing I will tell you is that this is the first set of Fire Poi that I've ever had where, because there was literally no exposed metal hardware at all, like not even a little bit, this is the only set I've ever had that I felt no self-consciousness about doing spiral wraps with. One of the combos that I was working on a lot last night involved a lot of spiral wraps and one-handed spiral wraps. And it was really refreshing to me that I could just play around with those and not have to worry about coming in contact with any exposed metal at all. The feeling of spinning with those static tethers on fire, you know, it's a lot like spinning with it unlit. It's a really consistent, really nice experience. I'm a fan. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so I've got to say that spinning with static tethers I'm here for it. Now that said, if I could quibble on just 2 things with these, I think they would be pretty much perfect for me. So the first thing is actually the instructions. I'm so glad that they come with the poi, but I don't know if you can see this clearly or not, but they're kind of just printed out on like a standard inkjet printer and everything, which means that there's a couple lines here where the ink was starting to run out and everything. And there's at least one sentence that's completely illegible because of that. I think this is such a good idea to include written instructions with the poi that a little bit more care ought to be taken with it, and maybe something that is like more a laminated insert, something that is meant to last for a long time and can be consulted as a piece of reference work going forward would be really lovely to see. In addition, and once again, this is a really minor quibble, but I noticed in kind of looking through the construction of these that the tethers are actually glued inside of the little assembly with the chips for the LED handles and everything. Now, normally this wouldn't be a big thing, but depending upon what the next generation of these products looks like and everything, there might be cause to replace the handles before the heads and tethers are ready to go, and it would be nice to have the freedom to do that. It's kind of a not great, huge priority, but it'd be really nice to see. Cool, so if you want to go ahead and grab a set of these, if you live in Europe, and I'm assuming the entire Eastern Hemisphere, you can grab a set by going to jugglingcalling.com, where you can find pairs of the ISIS heads with the static tethers and everything available for €127 per pair. If you're looking to get a set with the monkey fist heads, they start at €132 per pair. They have different options for handles that I've seen on the website, but I didn't see LED handles as one of those options. So if there's a way to do that, Juggling Calling, if you could let us know down in the comment section on this video and everything, that would be lovely. If you live in the United States, you should probably grab them from the US distributor for these static props, which is Shapeshift Props. You can do that over at shapeshiftprops.com, where you can start off getting a set of the ISIS heads for $164 per pair. They sell them as individual props, so it's $82 for an individual poi, and then you just add 2 of them. If you want to add the LED handles, which I would strongly recommend, that will land you $234 per pair. So if you want to get the monkey fist heads, they're a different listing on the site and everything. Those will start you at $170 per pair, or $85 for an individual poi. If you want to add the LED handles, they come to $240 per pair. So go and check those out. I've got links down in the description. Cool, so overall, these were a really pleasant surprise for me. The static rope worked in ways that I wasn't expecting it to. The spinning experience was really pleasant. Yeah, Juggling Calling, great job with these. I will definitely be using them more, and I think that I would definitely recommend them to other people out there. If you got anything out of this video, please make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to help other people find it, and of course, to help my channel grow. And a huge thank you, because this video would not be possible without the kind contributions of these amazing folks right here. These are my Flow patrons over on Patreon, and they, along with the wonderful folks listed down in the description, make this video and all the videos on this channel possible. If you would like to sign up to try and help me out with this work, bringing the love of poi spinning and flow arts to the wider world and helping people connect with their brains and their bodies, you can do so by heading over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and signing up. There you can get early access to all of my content, as well as a say in what topics I tackle in the future, plus some great extras and behind the scenes content, including the full-length versions of all of the individual snippets of fire spinning footage that I've included here. So you should go check that out. Please and thank you. Do you own a set of static fire poi? What has been your experience with them? I'm dying to know. If you have the monkey fist heads especially, do you need to spin them out, or am I correct in thinking that that is a difference in form factor, whether they need to spin out or not? Also, the one thing I'm really tempted to do with these is like some contact poi, because, you know, the amount of time that I can have contact with the heads before I have any kind of problems with temperature being conducted and everything is such that I think that might actually be doable. So let me know what your experiences are with that down in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and make sure to get out and get some flow in today. Yeah? Awesome. I will see you soon. Peace.